Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Jumai Manson. Now, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channels 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news info. Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja for Addis Ababa, Ethiopia to attend the second United Nations Food Systems Summit scheduled from July 27 to 29. Now, the summit brings together global leaders to assess progress since 2021 and strengthen efforts towards resilient, inclusive and sustainable food systems. Shettima will join high-level discussions on food security, agricultural innovation and responsible investment before returning to Nigeria at the summit's end. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy and former Osun State Governor Adegboyega Oyetola has ruled himself out of the 2026 governorship contest. Speaking at an APC stakeholders meeting in Osogbo, Oyetola says his priority is the party unity and winning back the state, not personal ambition. His withdrawal narrows the race to the remaining aspirants just over a year to the election scheduled for August 7, 2026. States in Nigeria's northwest region, including Kano, Katsina, and Jigawa, have opposed granting voting rights to Nigerians in the diaspora during the ongoing 1999 Constitution Amendment hearings in Kano. Led by Deputy President of the Senate, Barau Jibrin, state representatives instead voiced support for local government autonomy, state police, and creation of new states. Jigawa advocated for Hadeja State, while Kano proposed Geri and Tiga State. Katsina suggested Bayadida and Karanduwa State. They also backed enhanced rules for traditional rulers and legislative representatives for all local government areas. Medical doctors under the Lagos State government have declared a 3-day warning strike starting Monday, July 28th over unlawful salary deductions. Dr. Japhet Olubogi, chairman of the Medical Guild, cited repeated violations of agreements by the Treasury Office. The union is demanding reversal of deductions and payment of 12-month arrears to consultants. Over 385 doctors ratified the decision and issued a 21-day ultimatum for a full Anambra State has again raided a baby-making facility previously. Omaya Oyin local government linked to a self-acclaimed Delta-based doctor Odili Osai was discovered trafficking girls aged 15 to 21 years. Health Commissioner Dr. Afam Obidike said suspects were arrested and investigations launched. He described the raid as a major step in combating trafficking and gender-based violence in the state. As the rainy season continues across Nigeria, many workers are finding it increasingly difficult to get to their workplaces on time due to flooding, traffic congestion, and transportation delays. Residents say while the rains bring relief from the heat and support agriculture, they also expose the country's poor infrastructure and lack of emergency preparedness. Over now to Ubong Usoro's report.
The return of the rainy season in Nigeria is a mixed blessing. While farmers welcome the showers, urban dwellers, especially office workers, are left to battle flooded streets, impassable roads, and long waits for transportation. For many, the struggle begins before sunrise.
It's not easy at all to get to work. Even though you have umbrella, it's not still easy. So we find it difficult. To me, I think what they can do is that maybe they can provide this transportation, these buses.
Especially places like Masaka, we have some error places there that don't have good road. So we workers, if we want to come out, if there is road, the road is very good, so we can be able to come out because of the vehicles. Some
Nigerians suggested companies should provide transport logistics allowance for late coming as a result of the rains.
May not worry them. If rain they fall like this, if rain they fall from one place, maybe just cool down for the staff. Maybe just come down. If no come work, you're gonna say, okay, this one no come work. Rain no fall, no come work. But when I say they still they come work, you know, say now rain just delay.
It's not been easy. If the management can consider the staff, if they don't have the capacity to provide the staff with a bus, I think if there's a way they can give little time, if parental in the workplace they are giving them 8 o'clock as a resumption time, if they can be given 15 more minutes as a chance for late coming.
As the rains persist, Nigerian workers are forced to make difficult adjustments, leaving home earlier, spending more on transport, and enduring unsafe conditions. The season, though essential for the country's ecosystem, continues to reveal major gaps in infrastructure and urban planning. Ubon Usoro for Global Television.
A boat accident has claimed the lives of 20 families in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. The victims were en route to Zuba Market when their boat struck a log and capsized. Tides as hampering recovery efforts. Niger State Emergency Management Agency Hussaini confirmed the incident and said further details were being gathered. You are watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, CHESS promotes early mental development in children. Details coming shortly, plus business and forest stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is AM News on Global TV. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, proposal to establish a new agency that will oversee the decommissioning of oil and gas installations in Nigeria has sparked debate among stakeholders in the sector. While lawmakers say the move is necessary to protect the environment and host communities, regulators believe existing frameworks are sufficient. Our correspondent, Anete Patrick, tells us more.
Stakeholders in Nigeria's oil and gas sector are sharply divided over a proposed law to establish the National Commission for Decommissioning of Oil and Gas Installations, also known as NCDOGI. The public hearing, chaired by Honorable Alhassan Adodogwa of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream, brought together lawmakers, regulators, and environmental experts to deliberate on the controversial bill. Honorable Adodogwa described the initiative as a proactive move to enforce global best practices and shield host communities, especially in the Niger Delta, from the environmental risks of abandoned oil infrastructure, but not everyone is on board.
The regulatory institution in enforcing all assessing decommissioning practices, this bill is not meant to duplicate your work, but to complement and strengthen existing legal frameworks while creating a unified approach to a matter of national importance.
A director at the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Mark Emmanuel, argued that the existing Petroleum Industry Act already covers decommissioning obligations and funding mechanism under the supervision of his agency.
Creating a separate commission now would undermine the principles of regulatory clarity and predictability that the PI 2021 sought to achieve, thus impacting on the federal government's initiative on the ease of doing business.
Also echoing this view was Director of Environmental Assessment at the Ministry of Environment, Rufikat Odetoro, who suggested that rather than creating a new body, agencies like the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency should be empowered and better funded.
We cannot afford to contaminate our environment because our environment is our national asset.
However, not all regulators oppose the idea, as the Deputy Director of Legal Services at NOSDRA, Titilayo Bayelo, expressed support for the bill, but emphasized that NOSDRA must be included in the proposed Commission's governance structure for effective coordination.
Yes, international best practices for the environment supports the fact that environmental bodies of governance should evolve self-policies, laws, regulations on oil spill prevention.
The hearing also drew attention to the ongoing disconnect between policy and action, particularly in the Niger Delta region, where communities continue to live with consequences of abandoned oil installations. Annie T. Patrick, Global Television News.
The House of Representatives Committee on Renewable Energy has raised alarm over 50% skill gap in Nigeria's renewable energy workforce. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Afam Ogene, disclosed this during the African Policy Dialogue in Abuja themed Green Jobs and Low Carbon Transition. Our National Assembly correspondent, Annette Patrick, tells us more.
According to Honorable Ogene, the shortage of skilled technicians and engineers is hindering growth in the sector, despite Nigerians' renewable energy potential. He attributed the challenge not just to workforce deficit, but to weak policy frameworks and limited knowledge transfer. Honorable Ogene called on academic institutions to align their curricula with the demands of the green economy, adding that the National Assembly is working to enact effective legislation that supports green job creation, especially for youths and women.
It's good to look at the green jobs, but the green jobs need to be very decent.
Speaker of the House, Honorable Tajudeen Abbas, represented by the Deputy Minority Whip, Honorable George Ozodinobi, affirmed the 10th Assembly's commitment to advancing green policies that tackle unemployment and promote clean energy.
We cannot be investing so much money into renewable energy and not turning that into gainful employment for our people.
Also speaking, Victoria Manya of the Include Knowledge platform stressed the need for inclusive climate policies, warning that without equity, the low carbon transition could favor fossil fuel interest.
A just transition must not only reduce emissions, because if you look at it, what is the measure of Nigeria or Africa's contribution to the emissions? Very minimal and at best insignificant.
Some stakeholders agree that Nigeria stands at a crucial turning point where bold action on renewable energy can unlock jobs, empower communities, and protect the environment. Annie T. Patrick, Global Television News.
As prices of goods and services continue to come down, palm oil, which is brought to Kano from southern parts of Nigeria, has reduced significantly. Now, traders in Kano told our correspondent that although it's raining season, but palm oil, which used to be costly, is gradually coming down. Over now to Idris Tribune. He has the rest of the story.
This is called Galadima Market in Kano. It is from here that palm oil brought from southern Nigeria is distributed to other parts of northern Nigeria. Lately, palm oil has been very expensive in Kano. But with the recent reduction in price of food items across the state, traders say the price of palm oil is significantly coming down. According to traders, the reduction in price of palm oil is attributed to the recent drop in Nigeria's high cost of living, which is why the market forces forced the price to come down. Although there are challenges, which include high cost of transportation and the lack of inadequate capital among these traders, but the traders are hopeful that things will improve in the next coming days. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
Over now to our foreign scene now. Cambodia and Thailand have traded accusations of artillery attacks hours after United States President Donald Trump said both countries had agreed to hush out a ceasefire. Now, the attack came after both sides said they were willing to start talks to end the fighting over their border dispute after Trump spoke to their leaders. 4 days after the worst fighting in more than a decade broke out between the Southeast Asian neighbors, the death toll stood above 30, including 13 civilians in Thailand and 8 in Cambodia. The European Union and French President Emmanuel Macron have renewed calls for Nigeria's ruling junta to release disposed President Mohamed Bazoum, detained since July 2023 coup. Despite lifting his presidential immunity, no trial has commenced. The EU welcomed recent prisoner release but insists Bazoum's continued detention is political motivated. Israel has announced a daily tactical pause in parts of Gaza to allow humanitarian aid amid worsening hunger. The pause applied to select areas from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. as the military begins airdropping aid. The move, coordinated with UN agencies, aims to counter accusations of using starvation as a weapon in its ongoing conflict with Hamas. At least 6 people have died and more than 10 were left injured following a stampede at the Mansa Devi temple in Harawar, northern India's Underhand state. The incident occurred during a religious gathering as a large crowd surged on the temple's stairway, authorities confirmed. Rescue operators are ongoing and the state's chief minister, Pushkar Singh Dhamin, said he is monitoring the situation closely. Now, stampedes at religious events are common in India. Similar tragedies were recorded earlier this year in Odisha, Goa and Parigar during Hindu festivals. In our sports stories now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will host the victorious Super Falcons and officials of the Nigerian female football team at the State House in Abuja today, Monday, as the Super Falcons were expected to arrive in Nigeria from Morocco. It is expected that the players and the officials will be rewarded handsomely by the president. In a bid to deepen grassroots sports developments and raise future grandmasters, young chess enthusiasts gathered in Abuja for Evolve 2.0 Children Chess Championship. Organizers say the goal is to sharpen critical thinking and build resilience in children. Over now to Anita Patrick's report.
Beyond being a game of strategy, chess is being used to inspire discipline, focus, and life skills in children starting from a young age. The Evolve 2.0 Children Chess Championship, held in Abuja, brought together school pupils competing across 4 categories: under 8, under 10, under 13, and under 16.
You know, chess itself has so many benefits, and some of the benefits is that it helps you improve your critical thinking skills.
Young participants say the game has improved their mental alertness and academic performance. Their passion for chess is evident as they speak on its personal impact.
Chess boosts my mathematics skills, it makes me intelligent, and it makes me do well in my exams.
Chess is a very talented game and I love it because it makes me think ahead.
It's actually kind of fun and it makes me think critically.
I like chess again because it's a nice game.
For parents and coaches, the benefits of chess go beyond trophies. They believe the game nurtures discipline and psychological strength.
He chose chess because I noticed his interest in chess, and then it's just okay for me to encourage him because it helps him stay focused.
Coaching kids are challenging and fun at the same time because sometimes they tend to play with everything, but the fun of it is you get to see the child attributes.
With enthusiastic turnouts and outstanding performances across age categories, the championship not only crowned winners but also reaffirmed chess as a vital tool in early childhood development. Anita Patrick, Global Television News.
At this point, we end Global TV AM News, but let's take a quick look at our top stories again. We brought to you that Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja for Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to attend 2nd United Nations Food Systems Summit scheduled for July 27th to 29th. In business, a proposal to establish a new agency that will oversee the decommissioning of oil and gas installations in Nigeria has sparked debate among stakeholders in the sector, while lawmakers say the move is necessary to protect the environment and host communities. Regulators believe existing frameworks are sufficient. And on the foreign scene now, we brought to you that Cambodia and Thailand have traded accusations of artillery attacks hours after United States President Donald Trump said both countries had agreed to hush out a ceasefire. And finally, in sports, we brought to you that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will host the victorious Super Falcons and officials of the Nigerian football team at the State House in Abuja today, Monday, as the Super Falcons are expected to arrive in Nigeria from Morocco. And that's it on Global TV AM News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Up next is Global Morning. Stay tuned.
disbursing upkeep of 20,000.
is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Hello and welcome to another beautiful day. It is a Global Morning on Global Television, reaching you live and direct from the nation's capital. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo, and of course, my colleague is right here this morning as we pilot the affairs. On Global Morning, it is a rainy day, and of course, we had to be here because you deserve to get all the details that you need on Global Television this morning. Good morning, Jumai.
All right, good morning, Ramsey. And of course, it's great to be here. It's a beautiful Monday morning. I am so excited to be here with you side by side. And like you mentioned, it's a beautiful rainy Monday. That should not deter you from going to work, going about your business. Still see it as a very productive day where you can be productive. And positivity for me is key, very important.
Positivity is key, as a matter of fact. And, well, I think that was the same spirit that got the Super Falcons to winning their 10th African Cup of Nations on Saturday. Well, everywhere, everywhere, that's one of the things that has brought smiles to the faces of Nigerians. The president sent delegates to Rabat in Morocco to watch that game. At first, well, I don't know, but if you watch that game, you will know the level of tension that was involved in that game when the Super Falcons were 2 goals down, and it appears as if there was no hope again. But then, what can you say, what can we say, than to give God praise, because God really made it happen for the Super Falcons. They got 2 goals, they equalized 2-2, and of course, the final goal came when the last substitute was done. And today, the Super Falcons are 10 times winners of the Women African Cup of Nations. And congratulations to our girls. Ziza Toshola, the Agbabola, is resigning from active football, retiring, as a matter of fact, from active football, and she got that. I saw the smile on her face, and of course, all the team, all the players. Blontai was fantastic. The goalkeeper, every single player in that game did very well, and I want to say congratulations. And it's so good that the president identified with them, and he has sent messages, congratulatory messages to them, including the wife and other Nigerians. Some persons even went there to watch the match, including the former Deputy Governor of Edo State, Shaibu. He was there too, and a host of other persons. I want to say congratulations to the Super Falcons. What the men couldn't do, the women have done it like 10 times. Well, women, you need to do, I wish this can be replicated in other things. Apart from football, but then want to say congratulations to the women.
Of course, congratulations to the women, of course, all women out there. It shows that what a man can do, I really need with emphasis now, a woman can do it better. Not just better, but much more better. Look at us. Look at all those goals. 3 goals, you know. It's something that we should hold in high esteem. All women should be celebrated. Look at how the joy, celebration, jubilation they brought to Nigeria. Oh, women. Of course, congratulations, kudos. It's our win when it comes to this. Is our win. Our win. Our Ramsey. It's our win.
Yes, it is.
As women.
As Nigerians, not just women.
Yeah, but as women, kudos to all the women out there. You know. This is what it is. This is what women, they come out in grand style. It's not our fault. It's just what we do, you know. It's just the way we roll. Right, Ramsey?
Yes. How did you support the women? You watched the match?
Of course.
Because I'm going to ask you some questions.
Don't ask me any questions, but at the same time...
Did you watch that game?
I want you to know that...
Now, all of you are claiming the victory. But did you watch that game?
Why won't I?
What solidarity, what support did you give to the Super Falcons?
The screaming alone and saying, "Go girls, you can do this."
Well, congratulations to all the women out there. Well, it's not easy. It's not easy.
No, it's not.
And I'm so excited that the trophy is coming back home.
Yes, it is.
Winning it 10 times.
Yes.
It's not a child's play.
No, it's not.
All right, moving away from there, like we said, we had a report on our news bulletin a few days now talking about the rainy season and how it affects people from going to work, in as much as it is a blessing for the farmers because we need the food, the crops to grow, of course.
Yes, we do.
What about the flooding? When it's a rainy season like this, there are so many things that should be taken into cognizance. And the first thing is maintenance of the runway. How is the runway? Those of you dumping refuse into the runway, especially in the market and other places, we need to be careful, because if the rain comes heavy, the rest will be history. And if you don't want your shop to be flooded, you don't want your house to be flooded, you need to keep the runways very, very clean. What about places that we have dam? Places like River Benue, River Niger, I can still remember back, I can reflect back to what happened in Kogi State and Benue State. Was it last year or so, or 2 years ago, where everywhere was flooded. Vehicles couldn't pass. People were displaced, not just in Benue and Niger. It also happened in Bayelsa, Port Harcourt, and other parts of Nigeria too. So now it's the time for us to do what we can to ensure that this doesn't escalate. Let the river don't overflow. If you're living very close to the river bank, especially people around River Benue, Taraba area, Kogi, Niger, we need to be very, very careful because of the kind of rain that is falling these days, so that we won't have a repeat of what happened last year. Instead of spending so much on relief materials, I think it will be fine if we stop this from happening. Instead of control measures, it's better we control it so that it doesn't happen at all.
And it's very important, talking about the runway and all of that, talking about drainage systems. Back in the day, we used to have what we call environmental sanitation every last Saturday of the month back then in Lagos. But we need to have precautionary measures when it comes to preparedness, when it comes to flooding and all of that. Like Ramsey mentioned, 2 years ago, it was a terrible experience for some parts of Nigeria, talking about Kogi State, talking about Bayelsa, and some places in Lagos where flooding was a norm. Houses were being eroded by water. So at the same time, being prepared, proactive measures is very important. Please let us try as much as possible to keep our environment clean. I know for banana lovers like me, please, when you eat a banana, the peel, try as much as possible to put it in a dustbin, not on the road, not in a sewage system or something. Let us try as much as possible, because all of these precautionary measures, preparing it starts with us as individuals before it extends to the government. So it's very important that we as an individual, we have a responsibility to play in order, just do our part when it comes to the little part that you can do as an individual, as a citizen, not just a citizen, but someone who is patriotic. So try as much as possible to keep your environment clean. Do as much good as you can to clear your sewage system. Very important. That sanitation goes a long way to actually curb that menace of flooding and all of that encompass. Very important.
Well, a little bit of politics this morning. What's happening in the polity? Well, I think the ADC is having a plan B. You know, first of all, we heard about ADA. And the registration is what took time before we heard of the coalition coming from ADC. But then, I think there is a plan B. There is also some push for the registration of ADA. We've not heard that INEC have registered any political party yet. The way it is, it appears as if those involved in the coalition are trying everything possible to make sure they don't leave any stone unturned. But then, sometimes, you will be forced to ask questions. If Nigerians really believe, not in the coalition, but the people fronting the coalition, because there is a saying that some people are being tested and trusted, others have been tested and not trusted. And once bitten, twice shy, as the case may be. So we are keeping our fingers crossed, but it's obvious that the All Progressive Congress seems not to be bothered. Maybe it's not in the media space yet, but then they seem not to be bothered. But then I think the president have already instructed, and the new APC chairman have said, well, he is ready to take the All Progressive Congress to the permanent site, which a lot of people will feel it's the 2027 election. The 2027 election, winning it seemed more like a permanent site for the All Progressive Congress. But then, the coalition, what do you think about the coalition? And of course, the registration of ADA, you know, they are coming under the umbrella of ADC. But initially, they wanted registering ADA, but there was a delay. INEC have not really said anything about registration of new political parties. But as it is right now, is APC even bothered about the coalition at all?
For me, watching and viewing this from afar, it only shows that APC, they're not bothered. And PDP, they're still relentless when it says their members who have gone into the ADC are still going to come back. They're just gone on recess and they will come back. But for me, Ramsey, to be frank and to be honest, individuals who are going to these various parties when it comes to coalition and all of that, do they have Nigeria as a fur burner of all of this encompass, or is just for them as individuals to prove a point? But I want to see how far this will go. I want to see if this coalition is strong enough to defeat the ruling party, which is the APC at the moment. But at the same time, do they have Nigerians in front of them to think about Nigerians and, of course, Nigerian? That's just the thing. Individuals who are forming these coalitions have been burnt in one way or the other in their own political parties, or they do not have that, will I say, they are not in support of what their previous parties were doing. That's why they came in to form this coalition. But at the same time, it shouldn't be for self-interest, or will I say selfish interest. Let it be for Nigeria and, of course, Nigerians. But let's see how far this will go. If the coalition will bring greater good to Nigeria, why not? if it's something that it will douse the situation of things in the country at the moment, if it's something that we can all look up to and say, okay, there is hope here, why not? So it just depends. For someone like us who will just sit down and watch and see how far this will go and see how it will turn out at the end, we just sit back and watch and weigh the options. If it's best, individuals who are these heavyweights who are coming to form this coalition, if they can actually stand to oppose the APC at the moment, is something that a lot of individuals, I'm sure like myself, are looking and will say rooting and seeing. But if not, I think for me, the best thing that should be done is for Nigeria. Nigeria should be up in front of them, and of course individuals in Nigeria.
All right. Before we step it up a little bit, let's just branch a little bit into the world of entertainment and see what is happening from there. Because I don't know, but then the social media seems to be getting flooded already with the news of the start of the Big Brother Naija. Well, I'm not. Some persons have actually argued it. Some persons are saying, with the state of the economy, the votes might not be coming in like it used to be in the past, because people are even struggling to get data these days, even to get enough money to cast their votes. But then, those who are lovers of this reality show may go as far as doing whatever they want to do. Some persons are not fans of the Big Brother Naija, because some persons have spoken to me in the past to say, well, they don't really know the essence of that in Nigeria when we're talking about how we can boost the economy. But then all the basketballs, if you want to check it out, just follow Global Television on social media, and the update will be there for you. Our social media team will be up and doing for those of you who are lovers of Big Brother Nigeria. Well, that's from the world of entertainment. I don't know. Are you a fan of Big Brother Naija? Because I heard you talk about it. I think was it on Friday. You may not know.
Really?
Yeah.
So please tell me.
They said BB Naija will be starting this weekend. I overheard you. You didn't know I heard.
And that is why you decided in your mind to put me in the spot this morning. It's fine.
No, just to let you know that the walls have ears.
Well, for me, I have my own personal opinion. There are a lot of individuals who are fans of the BB Naija, who I know someone who she loves it so much she's not going to miss it for anything. But both male and female, but everyone has their own opinion. Like I can watch, maybe during their evenings, but to sit down, stay glued to my TV set from morning till
some people do it.
Yes.
Don't be surprised. Some people do it.
People like us that we have what's going on. We have much more important things to do. Like we can't be newscasters and then you see us sitting in front of when there are latest happenings and we have programs to produce and all of that. We have a lot of things. Are you kidding me? I can watch. It's fine. It's entertaining. I will not lie. But at the same time, to sit down from morning till the next morning, people stay up late to watch what. Yeah. I love my sleep. So please.
Till 3 a.m. some people are still watching.
Of course.
Because some persons are even interested in the night time of the Big Brother.
Watching people sleep.
Yes.
And you are awake.
And you're awake.
Okay,
it's so
good.
funny. It's so funny. Well, that's that from the entertainment scene. That's what we do. Human angle, politics, then a little bit of entertainment.
Let me add something. Growing up, are you a fan of wrestling growing up as a child?
You want to talk about Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan is past.
Oh, yeah, Hulk Hogan is past. At the age of 71, that was one of my best. I do not portray violence. I do not. But wrestling, of course, it was later in life when we were mature that we understood that all of those stunts were all fake. It was all acted, and we were all scared as little kids watching all of that. But of course, that man was legendary. He brought a lot of joy, laughter to various homes. Hulk Hogan will be missed as, oh my goodness. I watched some of his movies. You know, he became an actor at some point. But at the same time, he will be missed. He gave that aura when it comes to the wrestling industry. He was a legend for me. My greatest fan. I've always loved to watch Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan. I could remember some ladies, or should I say women, some women cry watching wrestling. That just occurred to me when you
said, why are they crying?
No, the feelings. Why is he doing this to him?
No.
Why is he beating someone like this? Even in movies, you know, we used to have the actor, and the other on the boss. You know, people will watch it and say, why is he beating him like this?
Yeah.
Some people portray to real life situation.
Yeah.
Even in our movies, in Nollywood, I've seen people cry. I don't want to talk about Passion of the Cross and all of that, because that one is real. People cry like when it comes to that. But when it comes to movies, especially women, and somebody said that was why that women are so passionate. That was why
so empathetic.
So many times they are at the forefront of so many good things. Well, women out there, congratulations to you. Well,
peace. I have to do the peace side to all women. You all are amazing, and for goodness, of course, for as much as the men, you are all amazing.
Men are, most times men don't even they know they are amazing.
Okay.
Men naturally know they are amazing.
Okay.
And women know it.
Of course, but women are amazing. They are fantastic. They compliment.
Yeah, we help them become what they are. That's true.
No, calm down. I didn't say that yet. Now, calm down. I didn't say that.
Okay.
Women, you're all amazing. We see what you do. Multitasking is not easy. Look at WAFCON now 10 times. It's not easy, but we got there. But for the men out there, we see all you do. You are all fantastic. The men who step up, you're all fantastic, and God will continue to uplift and help you all. You see, because I'm a woman, we're being celebrated now all over the world as for Nigeria. I still included the men in there.
Yes, the men. Do you know that their coach is even a man?
It's okay. Let's move on now. Let's move on.
All right. Well, we're moving on. And I would say, if you're going out today, don't forget to go with an umbrella. Because you can't really predict the weather. Notwithstanding, keep watching Global Television and be with us on Global Morning today, because the weather forecast is going to be coming in between. Social Buzz is also coming in between. And don't forget that 2 major conversations will be happening on Global Morning today. But before then, let's bring you the newspaper. You deserve to know what the headlines are saying. So, on a quick break after this, we'll bring you the newspaper headlines. Welcome back. You deserve to know what the headlines are saying. So let's quickly take you through the national dailies for today. And of course, the month is running very fast. Today is the 28th day of July, 2025. On the Punch newspaper this morning, well, I can see the picture of some very big wigs there, including that of the president. The Punch newspaper here, beginning from the right-hand side, APC defends Yelwada amidst fierce opposition over INEC ties. Details read on page 8. The state's on high alert as Adamawa flood death toll rises. Page 2. I talked about that during the introduction. We need to put every arsenal in place to ensure that this flooding doesn't cost what it cost us in the past. All right, people are being displaced right now by headers, as it has been called, terrorists and all of that, kidnappers and every other thing happening in the country. So flood shouldn't add to it. Now to the big story on the Punch newspaper. Fuel war brews as Dangote presses Tinubu to ban imports. One rider to that story, and the rider says, Ipman, Petroan push back, warn against monopoly. Dangote insists on Nigeria first policy. Right. That's one thing that a lot of Nigerians will be interested in. Imports. Instead of bringing in, we should try as much as possible to develop what we have. Let's build our own refineries, make them work, give Dangote Refinery all the support that he needs, so that at least we can do more of exporting instead of importing, because exporting will bring us more money, all right? That's if our refineries are working anyway, because that of Dangote will go into Dangote's pocket, even though he's going to be paying tax and other levies. All right, moving away from there. This one says Professor Nentawe Goshe Yelwada is the right man for the job. All right, you see this more like a publicity right there. You see have the picture of the president, the picture of Yelwada himself. And that's the size of the headlines from the Punch newspaper this morning. But then we should know that these headlines are so much, we'll be taking the few that we can take out of it. So I'll hand you over to my colleague for the next paper.
All right, now the next paper is the Daily Times. Now above the nameplate it says Shettima pushes Nigeria's food security agenda at Addis Ababa summit, and that you will find on page 10. Now the Star story reads, ADC demands 10-year audit of 200 trillion naira external loan. Now below all of that, it says here, female corps members can wear skirts. Court overrules NYSC, and that you will find on page 7. 2027, Southeast Group raises 200 million naira to buy APC form for Tinubu. Now Tugger, Wafuru, others congratulate Super Falcons on 10th WAFCON win. Umahi dismisses Kwakwaso's claim over North Road's marginalization, and that you will find on page 6. Now moving on now, it says FG backs Motherland Hub to boost diaspora investment youth engagement. And basically that is it on the Daily Times. Please go out and get yourself a copy and well abreast with the news making rounds. Next.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's quickly go to the Nation's newspaper this morning. On the Nation's newspaper, we have a couple of stories, but then I think Professor Yelwada is the right man for the job. Seems to be covering all the pages this morning. All right, let's just look at the few headlines that we have above the nameplate to the right. Sanwo-Olu bans new council chairman from appointing SLG. Right, Tinubu's policy reviving private sector, says Dangote. All right. Well, that's the good news. I think we need more investment in this country because our economy. I heard the president talked about the economy the day the new APC chairman was being sworn in, and he said something. These are things that economists have actually attested to. We are not where we are, but we are moving gradually. If not for the fact that Nigerians are complaining of hunger, there's actually going to be light at the end of the tunnel, like we are seeing gradually. So Dangote is attesting to the fact that the president's policies are reviving the private sector, which he is a mogul in. Now, Nigerians proud of you, President tells Falcons in a video chat. These are things that happened not all the time. Not all the time. The president he actually had to put a call across to the Super Falcons back there at Rabat in Morocco to congratulate them. It wasn't easy. Ajibade was speaking yesterday, and she talked about the fact that it wasn't easy, especially you know how it feels when you are 2 goals down in a final game. It's either your opponent will be defending and you will be fighting to get a goal. It's not just 1 goal here. If you even get a goal, you will still be 1 goal behind. So you will need to equalize. So I think that video call is really worth it from the president, and he has said he's going to give them a grand welcome. So they will be returning back
and they'll be
to Nigeria. They will be. In fact, their bonuses, everything. I think like Blunter, she never regretted it at all.
No, she didn't.
Pledging allegiance to Nigeria because there were some. I think a few of them decided to choose Nigeria against their country of birth.
Very true.
They are not regretting it at all. Do you know what it means to win the Women African Cup of Nations 10 good times? Now, the Africa, well, now go to do them. We are excited about that.
Okay.
So I wasn't surprised that the president had to put a video call across to the Super Falcons, the champions. Details you can find on page 55 of the Nation's newspaper. Then moving away from there, let's also look at this one, which says 25-day daytime electricity load shedding begins in Lagos. And details you can find on page 6 of the Nation's newspaper. And as a matter of fact, you can already see the pictures on all the pages. I'm not taking that again. Let's move to the next paper.
All right, the next paper is the Vanguard, and above the nameplate it says $218 loan. ADC demands full audit of last 10-year loans. And the writer says presidency nas APC mom, and that's on page 12. And on page 14 of the Vanguard newspaper, it says State of the Nation with Current System, St. Luth, Nigeria. And that's on Anya. And on page 25, it says 2025 budget funding under pressure as oil output under platforms in H1 25. Now, the star story on the Vanguard reads, Miracle of Rabat, How We Overcame Morocco by Super Falcons. And basically, that is all the paper. And, of course, that story is on page 10 and 11 of the Vanguard newspaper. Please go out and get yourself a copy and be well abreast on the major headlines making round. Next, it's the Daily Trust. Over to you.
All right, on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, we also have some major headlines, and we'll be taking it one after the other. This one says 5 die, over 50 injured in Adamawa flood. We keep talking about flood. A python of the animals found in ex-AGF's home, evacuated to Kano Zoo.
Okay. Why are you laughing?
No, I just have to be quiet for a while. I just have to be quiet. Python.
Okay.
And other animals found in ex-AGF's home.
Really?
The animals have now been evacuated to Kano Zoo. I know Kano Zoo. I've been there before.
How does it look like?
I've been to Kano Zoo before.
Why are we laughing at this?
What took me to the zoo? Well, it's a long story.
Okay.
Also brilliant. So my teacher said, well, I need to take you to the zoo or the airport, and it took me on a tour.
Okay.
So I know Kano Zoo very well. But then, what happened? What took Python?
Why is that story cracking me up?
The animals to the AGF home. What are they looking for? Is it, no,
don't ask
probably
me such
it's
questions.
living very close to the zoo. But then, how did they escape from the cage?
I don't know. I have no idea, and I don't know why this is cracking me up. So because we always
talking
hear
about Python.
I know. Stop, please.
Well, if you want to know why, because we can't tell you the reason.
No,
right
we
now.
cannot.
But if you really want to know why, just pick a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper. But then we are glad that we didn't hear that anyone was beaten by the python or swallowed by the python. We know that snake swallows money in Nigeria. But these ones were caught. That's why I'm talking. These pythons were caught. They didn't swallow any valuable thing that would have benefited Nigerians, but they were returned to the zoo where they belong.
Yes. Let's go on a very quick break. Global Morning Newspaper Review headline continues shortly. Please stay tuned. All right, you're welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Global Morning. And yes, this is the newspaper review segment. And then Ramsey will continue with the paper. And of course, over to you now, Ramsey.
Thank you very much for staying with us. The paper headlines still continue. And of course, still on the Daily Trust newspaper, we had to go on that break actually because we need to at least go through the papers very well so that we can do a better analysis. And that's exactly what we just did. What happened behind closed doors? Well, there's something they call backstage and there's something they call front stage. The front stage is very unique, but the backstage, all right. Many things happens. All right, World Hepatitis Day. That's the rider. Patients decry funding challenge, job losses. Now to the big story on the Daily Trust. Electricity supply worsened despite high tariff. Just one rider to that story, and the minister's spokesman said problems been resolved. All right. One of the things that we can't stop talking about is the fact that in Nigeria, you pay so much and you get little, and nobody is saying anything about it. You know, these people will come get you disconnected if you don't pay. One, you don't even have the meters at all. All right. To say, well, this is what I've used. Some persons have prepaid meter, which is pay as you go. Some persons are still using the old meter, with which they just come, look at it, and give you whatever they want to give. Maybe if they come to your compound and so many cars are parked, they charge you based on your capacity, estimated capacity, not minding what you have in your room, not minding what you're consuming. But the question we keep asking is, don't you think this is more like victimizing the people? I'm waiting for when a town hall meeting will be held so that the authorities can hear what Nigerians are going through as it has to do with power supply. A lot of businesses are folded up. Why? Because they can't afford fuel anymore. They can't afford diesel. Because you'll be forced to use a generating plant to actually fuel your business, to keep your business going. Take, for instance, Global Television. We are on 247. Who is even thinking about it? The power supply. How is the power supply like? I think so much needs to be done. It's high time we'll start thinking of solar power. You know, if every home have solar power, I don't think Nigerians will be crying about electricity every day. Electricity supply wasn't, despite high tariff.
True.
If you're paying, you should get value for it. I'm not even talking about a telecom yet. Well, I don't talk too much this morning.
Please
Just
don't
talk small so
it's
that
fine.
people and not keep people cracking up. All right, bandits killed many captives in Zamfara. Survivor is the one saying that. Then this one says, Tinubu hosts Super Falcons today after trophy parade. Success has many brother. Failure is an orphan. Nigeria boat mishap, 15 bodies recovered and 3 missing. I didn't want to talk about the women anymore, so I just have to use that adage because the woman beside me will not allow me to breathe like 2 times because though we're celebrating with the women. Constitution review, Northwest demands 8 additional states. 8 additional states. All right, let's just keep our fingers crossed and see how it's going to go. Details you can find on page 15. I'm even interested in the state's creation too. Yes. Excuse me. Because one of the things that a lot of Nigerians are even clamoring for is the state creation. True. And state policing. A lot of people are actually talking about this because some persons feel marginalized.
Yes.
And when allocations are being pushed down, you know, the people who are feeling cheated will feel, well, this allocation is not evenly distributed.
Yes, very
so
true.
They are clamoring for states. But then, 8 states. What to you?
All right, now let's move over to the Nigerian News Direct. And above the nameplate, it says Dangote hails Tinubu, says policies are reviving the private sector. And if you're wondering what that is all about, you will flip over to page 3 of the Nigerian News Direct. And on page 20, it says Sanwo-Olu swears in 57 council chairman, orders action-driven accountable governance. And 2026, I am not running for Osun governorship seat. And that's from Oyetola, and he declares, and that you will find on page 18. Now, the Star story reads, Kwakwaso not defecting to APC will contest 2027 presidency. And the writer there is NNPC chieftain insists. Claims of alliance with Tinubu are fake. Onu says Visit to Villa was for event, not political talks. And below the feet of the Nigerian News Director says, court strikes down NYSC skirt ban, rules policy unconstitutional. And that interesting read is on page 14. Now, please go out and get yourself a copy to be well abreast with all of these important major headlines making round. And next, we have The Guardian. Over to you, Ramsey.
All right, we have a lot of headlines on The Guardian newspaper this morning. And, of course, I will be taking them. ADC demands audit of Tinubu's 200 trillion naira debt trajectory, slams physical record. What does that say to you?
No comment.
ADC is positioning itself as the opposition that PDP never gave to APC.
Yes, that's why I said no comment. Let's wait and see how well this plays out.
ADC, all right. Well, I think one thing, there's something about this ADC. ADC is one party that is not so pronounced, but since the coalition, APC has been at the top front. And ADC is now challenging ADC, the president, okay, about an audit of 200 trillion naira debt trajectory.
But you can see that APC is unbothered by all of this. Have you seen the solemn, quiet, no
sometimes
fret whatsoever?
No, they're not fretting, but then you can't say categorically at this point in time because you know how it happens. Sometimes you want to do agili, but deep down you know something is going on because this is more like a recycling. These are people that have been in APC, and that's why APC is seriously strategizing because the strategy they used in 2023 with these their members that have left, they already know the strategy. Excuse me. They already know the strategy. So they will need to come up with a fresh strategy.
Something new.
This time, something new. So, and these are people. One thing about this ADC of a thing is that we have big politicians in there. And these are people from PDP and APC and maybe SDP, as the case may be. Talking about people that have traveled around some parties. All right. Now to the next story. Seek permission to appoint aides. Supervisor Sanwo-Olu tells new LG chairman. 2023 polls. Court dismisses INEC's prayer against prosecuting electoral offenders. The big story says refineries. Ajaokuta Steel fail revival effort despite 6.5 trillion naira spent in 10 years. NNPC refinery term and debt. Okay? You can actually check that out. National Assembly, $25 billion from 2013 to 2023. That is a maintenance cost, even though it's unverified. Well, just pick a copy and go through it for yourself because if I want to explain this, it's going to take a little time. Those of us that are economists and, know some calculations. Will Nigeria harness or squander its youth dividends? That's more like an editorial. 2026, that's the rider. The kicker, beg your pardon, Atiku vows to deliver a Ekiti governorship to ADC. Wow, I love that. That's more like an audacity for me. Atiku vows to deliver a Ekiti governorship to ADC. All right, on page 7, Falana condemns renaming of Lagos streets. 5 dead, 55 injured as flood ravages Adamawa settlement. This one says International Day. Nigeria's hepatitis war falters amid low testing, high treatment cost, and ignorance. NMA suspends planned strike, gives federal government fresh 21-day ultimatum. That is NMA. Nigerian Medical Association. And finally, court nullifies NYC's kit ban, declares decision unconstitutional, breach of rights. Details you can find on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper, and that's going to be the size of the headlines from the Guardian newspaper this morning.
And of course, basically, that is it on the newspaper review segment. And of course, all the editorial judgment on these papers has nothing to do with Global Television. It was just read as it is on the paper. So please go out and get yourself a copy and well abreast with some major headlines making rounds. And of course, at about this time, let's quickly know what the weather is like today. Up next is the weather segment. Stay tuned.
Severe thunderstorms swept across parts of the northern region in the last 24 hours, as we can observe on this satellite imagery. The heaviest downpour triggered flooding in areas like Yola South in Adamawa State, where reports are still coming in of disruption of livelihood, submerged buildings, and devastations of farmlands. Ground stations recorded significant rainfall, where Dutse saw 61 millimeters of rains, Gombe 53 millimeters. Down south, Uyo recorded 138 millimeters and Calabar 110 millimeters of rains. These are very high numbers for a short time frame, and given the waterlogged ground, flash flooding still remains a high risk, especially across the north and the southeast coast. Over the next 24 hours, expect more thunderstorms, especially in the northern region, with moderate rains likely over the central and down to the southern cities. So if you live in a flood-prone area, please stay alert and take necessary precautions, especially around rivers and low-lying zones. We'll keep tracking this. Please stay safe.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. All right, you're welcome back. And of course, that's the newspaper. That, of course, is the weather segment. And of course, you know what the weather is like in all parts of Nigeria. Now, at about this time, let's see what the social media holds at this point from latest trending issues on the socials. Over now to Ogochukwu Mobino for Social Buzz. Stay tuned.
Good morning and welcome to Social Buzz. Good morning to you, my viewers, and good morning, the Global Morning Crew. I am Ogochukwu Mobino. What exactly is buzzing on the internet? Chief of Army Staff probes viral video for alleged poor feeding of troops. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has ordered an investigation into the viral video of soldiers expressing frustration over poor feeding by operational commanders. In the viral video, some soldiers could be seen displaying food items allegedly sent to them by their higher command, suggesting dissatisfaction with the quality and quantity of the foodstuffs. Reacting to the video, the Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Apollonia Anele, said is being treated with the highest level of seriousness it deserves. Anele assured both personnel and the general public that while the authenticity and context of the video were yet to be fully ascertained, the matter was being treated with the seriousness it deserved. Consequently, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has ordered thorough and detailed investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident. And in line with the commitment to transparency and accountability, the outcome of the investigation will be made public upon conclusion, she assured. According to the acting director of the Chief of Army Staff, reiterated that troops' welfare remains his topmost priority in line with his command philosophy. The statements encourage personnel to utilize established and appropriate military channels to present their concerns or, establish whatever complaint they have, especially on welfare issues. The use of unauthorized platforms to express grievances, particularly on operational matters, is highly discouraged and considered a breach of military ethics and discipline, he warned. He therefore assured all personnel of Nigerian Army and the public that he continued to uphold the highest standards of leadership, accountability, troops, welfare, and institutional integrity in fulfillment of its constitutional mandate. The well-being and effectiveness of the Nigerian soldiers remains central to our ongoing transformation efforts and operational success, the Chief of Army Staff has assured them. So I think at this point I would say, do not worry yourself, and they are probing into this matter, and hopefully they come to a conclusion, and a good one at that. Well, moving on to the second story, several killed as unknown gunmen attack Imo community. The Imo State Police Command has confirmed report of a gruesome attack carried out by unknown gunmen in Indijeze, Umuoloma, and Indiakwuta, Uno communities, all in Arozundiziogu, Adelto North local government of the state. According to reports, the gunmen who were in their numbers stormed the community and opened fire on the residents, killing about 7 persons and injuring many others. Videos shared online showed corpses of the victims lying on the floor and drenched in their own blood. The State Commissioner of Police described the attack as barbaric, inhumane, and totally unacceptable. He assured the public that the command has deployed adequate operational and intelligence assets to identify, apprehend, and bring the perpetrators to justice. Subsequently, the CP led tactical units for intense combining of the effective areas and affirmed that the situation is now under control and proactive security measures have been taken to foster further attacks and restore lasting peace in the region. While expressing heartfelt sympathy to the families of those who lost their lives, CP Aboki Danjuma prayed for the peaceful response of the deceased and a speedy recovery for the injured. He also extended his condolences to the bereaved and encouraged them, to remain peaceful even at times like this. Well, we're going to be taking some comments as regards this situation. Hopefully we get comments that will not make the bereaved more bereaved at this time. So our first comment is coming from Chiamaka Kingsley, and Chiamaka Kingsley says, "This happened in my community last night around 10 p.m. 8 people were shot dead instantly according to reports. and he tagged, Hope Uzodimma, who is the president governor of the state, and said, "What's your plan on providing maximum security to Indi Imo?" Aaron Diogo, "My hometown has been messy for the past 2 years, and now and yet no sign of restoration. We can no longer visit our ancestral land because of fear of the unknown. The government should do something about this because these bandits finish our people completely." And he adds, by saying, "Rest in peace to the people." Yes, rest in peace to these people. No one really prepares for things like this. The second, which is the last but not the least comment, is coming from Owen Williams.ng, and Owen says, "Taking another person's life is now so easy and normal for some people. I don't know what happens to us as a nation, but God help us." Yes, God help us indeed. And may the soul of those who were killed in Aaron Diogo rest in peace. Well, I'll be leaving you to drop your thoughts here, so please make do of the social media handles you're seeing right here on your screen and drop your thoughts. We want to hear what you think about situations like this, and who knows, your comment might be popping up on our screen one of these days. Well, I'll be leaving you to the Global Morning crew as Global Morning continues to stay with us.